area moves in so many ways. The Pacific pulls us in to roam its hidden alleyways, shift our perspectives, breathe history, taste local flavors, and savor every moment. Let yourself be moved.
Capital City Chaos, thank you. I'm for like me, escaping from the brutality of the sun to come into this lovely curling center. Game 7, Saskatoon Roller Derby League, Mindfox versus Faultline Derby Devils. Here is your lineup for Mindfox. Number 0, official mascot. Number 10, Slaying Mantis. 10-10, Hell's Bell. Number 138, QT Sly. 15, No Elbows. 19, Reign of Terror. Number 2, Harmadillo. Number 247, Mishbehaven. 27, Carmen Dragon. Number 30, Rip. 37, Sunny Death Position. 45, Resident Weevil. Number 474, Hell Woods. Number 48, Potato Masher. 517, Freddie Mercury. Number 69, Terrorizer. 747, Hot Rod. 87, Kitty Cream Her, and number 89, Pippi Long Stompings, and they are coached by GoldenEye and Pterodactyl.
And joining us all the way from California, we have the Faultline Derby Devils. We've got number 110, Let's Be Honest, 1313, Naughty Havoc, 141, Goldilocks, 143, Pinball, 15, Ice Rocker, 18, Shabam! 21, Ninja. 214, Cool Whip. 293, Brass Schnuckles. 317, Lucky Harms. 36, Slamla Anderson. 4140, Sasha Degrader. 505, Creamer. 666, Piercer. 8, Hydra. 81, Maddie Massacre. And 916, Slick Mick. And on the bench for the Derby Devils, we have Tara Cole.
And our officials for this game, on the skates, we've got Noah Fallon, Otter Mayhem, Faffin' About, Outrage Jess, Intervener, Adam Smasher, and SNO.
And for our non-skating officials, we have Pushy Galora, Bazooka Langley, Left on Red, V-Rex, Phil Hollywood, Qualamella, Grim Steeper, Skate Bush, and Screw Lucy.
And once again, we left too much time before the game starts. We're going to talk slower in the introductions. But Faultline is ready to go. They're like, we are lined up, we are set. We did not come around here to waste our time. We are here to play some roller derby. All right, the whistle has swooped. Pivot line start. Official mascot set to jam against Ice Rock Her. And away we go. Game 7 underway. Ice Rocker knocked out. Official mascot pushing at the front. Held up by number 36, Slamala Anderson, but gets through lead jammer, Mindfox. And Ice Rocker out and through as well as official mascot adds the first points of the game. 4 up for Mindfox. And official mascot calls off the jam.
The Eves of Destruction wish to thank all of the outstanding sponsors that fund the gameplay you enjoy. As we tell you more about them today, consider if you too would like to help keep us rolling in 2026. You can contact us at sponsorship@evesofdestruction.com.
Slaying Mantis with the star for Mindfox. Maddie Massacre set to jam for Faultline. And Maddie Massacre sneaking up the inside lane, lead jammer, Faultline Derby Devils. The Slaying Mantis clears the pack. Maddie Massacre on the scoring run. Mindfox doing a good job of staying ahead and only give up 3.
Parkway Physio, reduce pain, improve mobility, and get back to what you love.
Armadillo set to jam against Slick Mick. Slick Mick held at the back. Armadillo hops to the front and gets trapped by a forward tripod multiplayer block being called. And Armadillo out first, lead jammer. That's that multiplayer, I believe, being assessed against Carmen Dragon for Mindfox. Armadillo bounces through the pack, 4 points. That'll give us an 8-3 total score.
The Zone at 91.3, proud sponsors of the Eves of Destruction. The Zone is a radio station made for you by real people right here in Victoria.
Reign of Terror set to jam against Let's Be Honest. Reign of Terror forced to the infield and a back block called on Let's Be Honest. First power jam of the game going to Saskatoon Mindfox. And Saskatoon's no elbows breaking things free. And that lets Reign of Terror hop out as lead jammer. Reign of Terror sneaking between a couple of blockers to grab 4 points. And the power jam coming to an end as Let's Be Honest out of the penalty box. Reign of Terror adding a second 4-point run. Let's Be Honest almost clear, but forced to the infield, has to recycle back. And now caught up as Mindfox lose a blocker to the penalty box. No elbows teaming with Kitty Creamer at the front, but finally have to let Let's Be Honest go. And Reign of Terror, here's the cry from the bench, calls off the jam. Does grab all 4 for a 12-point run. Official timeout called with 25:31 to go in the first period. 20-3 our score. And more tape needed. Do we have a tape sponsor? Have you guys secured a tape sponsor yet?
We do, actually. So our tape sponsor is Cloverdale Paint. And they've actually just opened a new store in Souk.
Nice. Official timeout done. Official mascot set to jam. It's very official. Official mascot with the star for Mindfox, Maddie Massacre, jamming for Faultline, and Maddie Massacre out first, lead jammer. But official mascot able to keep pace, forces the quick call off, and a 0-0 jam, first of the game.
In a world filled with mass-produced stuff, connect with what you consume with Driftwood Brewery. Visit their bar and patio nearby in Esquimalt on Viewfield Road or on site here tonight in our beer garden.
Slaying Mantis and Slick Mick starting off on the jammer line. Slick Mick almost out of lane and then finds one hopping through the middle of the pack. Outside lane closed down momentarily, but Slick Mick able to get out with lead jammer Slaying Mantis. Also clear and giving chase, as Faultline had trapped Kitty Creamer at the back of the pack. And only 1 point given up by Mindfox.
Our amazing crew of dedicated officials is one of the Eves of Destruction's biggest assets. From non-skating officials to on-skate officials, they make it possible for us to enjoy the sport that we love so much. Speak to any official or EOD member to find out how you too could be part of this awesome crew.
Armadillo with the star for Mindfox, Ice Rocker wearing the star for Faultline. Ice Rocker, bump towards the outside, but stays in and clears with lead jammer. That is 3 straight lead jammer assessments for Faultline Derby Devils. Armadillo also out of the pack. As number 110, let's be honest, busting things up in the middle of the pack and then turning immediately to defense. Ice Rocker calls off the jam, and a 4-1 jam steal by Mindfox.
Empire Donuts, a whole lot of love. All donuts are made by hand from scratch with quality ingredients, and they're here tonight. So go check them out for some Empire Donuts.
They are, and I'm going to need to find a cash machine soon. Reign of Terror with the star for Mindfox. Maddie Massacre jamming for Faultline. No pack called. Maddie Massacre, the one hand down, one hand is not out. 4th straight lead for Faultline. As the Mindfox pack racing ahead. Reign of Terror threading through the Faultline defense, picks up 3 rather. As Faultline with 2, that takes us to 27-7. With 22 minutes to go in the game, in the first period.
Hazel's Ice Cream, a family dream of ice cream. Local handmade ice cream bars.
Jam 9 underway with official mascot and Let's Be Honest jamming for Mindfox and Faultline respectively. Official mascot shouldered out by Ice Rocker. As Let's Be Honest fighting at the front. manages to get around and clear the pack for lead jammer. As official mascot clears. Mindfox again running to the front. And let's be honest, calls off the jam this time, holding Mindfox scoreless and picking up 2.
And a big thank you to Roller Girl for sponsoring the Capital City Chaos Tournament MVP prize. If you're in the arena, you can vote for the tournament MVP using the QR codes posted throughout the arena.
Slick Mick and Slaying Mantis at the jammer line, the pack meeting them there. Oh, Slick Mick thought it was wide open, but unfortunately Picky Lawn Stoppings right there to say no thank you. However, Slick Mick back out, picks up lead as a forearm penalty sends Kitty Creamher to the penalty box. Slaying Mantis out of the pack as Slick Mick pops through, grabs 4, calls off the jam.
Drop into Influence Board Shop for Victoria's best selection of skateboards and gear. Also find them in our vendor village here today.
Mindfox send Armadillo out to the jammer line. Maddie Massacre with the star for Faultline. Each team 1 blocker shy in the pack. Make that 2 down for Faultline. And Armadillo challenging those 2 at the front. An illegal procedure called on Hydra. Will send them to the penalty box. And a cut track called on Armadillo. That was a lot of whistles in a very short amount of time. Maddie Massacre trying to find room through the middle. Multiplayer block is called, and Maddie Massacre finally 40 seconds into the jam is out and lead jammer. Maddie Massacre bounces off the back of Kitty Creamher as Faultline working to keep the pack split. Armadillo now out of the penalty box. Maddie Massacre bumped out of bounds, calls off the jam. A 7-point run for Faultline takes them to 20. Mindfox held to 27.
Proudly Canadian, Cloverdale Paint delivers high-performance paints, coatings, and color systems.
Reign of Terror jamming for Mindfox. Ice Rocker back out with the star for Faultline. Oh, Ice Rocker not lead jammer, but instead with the cut track penalty. So Reign of Terror will take lead jammer into and through the pack for 4 points. Breaks a 3-jam string of no points for Mindfox. Reign of Terror on the second scoring pass, caught up at the front as the offense comes in to help. Reign of Terror bumped out of bounds. A direction of play penalty sends Sasha to the penalty box. And Reign of Terror finally clears the pack with 4. As the power jam had been finished, but no longer. As Ice Rocker back to the penalty box. Reign of Terror, third pass complete. A 12-0 run. Now Mindfox 39, Faultline 20.
And a huge thank you to the folks at St. John Ambulance for being on site all weekend and making sure all of our skaters stay safe.
Team timeout called by Faultline. So we're down to 16 minutes and 17 seconds left in the half. 39-20 our score. Three on three in the pack, but 1-0 at the jammer line as official mascot with the power start. Ice Rocker sitting in the penalty box. And with the whistle off we go. Official mascot tiptoes the line on the inside to grab lead jammer. Faultline now back to full strength in the pack. But official mascot able to work through and pick up the first 4 points of the jam. As the power jam comes to a close, an Ice Rocker back out of the box. No pack called. Let's Ice Rocker complete the initial. And jam is called off.
Laugh it up at Heckler's Bar and Grill for the Capital City Chaos after party when the games end on Sunday.
Slaying Mantis and Slick Mick wearing the stars for Mindfox and Faultline as Slick Mick pushing towards the front. One skater to beat and is just forced out. And called for the illegal contact penalty. Meanwhile, Slaying Mantis forced down, but no rollback as everyone who knocked her went out of bounds or fell down. Slaying Mantis shouldered out by Sasha DeGrader. Coming in out of the penalty box and right back into action. Multiplayer block will thin the pack out a bit. As Slick Mick out of the penalty box and back through, completes the initial pass. Not lead because of the penalty, however, now eligible for points. Slaying Mantis finds room on the outside edge, grabs lead jammer, but 4 points up for Slick Mick, who hops the apex right as the Slaying Mantis was grabbing lead. Mantis calls off the jam, a 4-0 steal by Faultline.
Visit Vancouver Island's only romance bookstore, Faded Hearts Bookstore, here today in our vendor village and run by our league mate, Skylord.
Armadillo ready to jam against Maddie Massacre. Armadillo pushing on the inside, able to get through and out with lead jammer. Maddie Massacre also through, not lead jammer, but is clear as Rip heads to the penalty box. Armadillo calls off the jam. And no points for either side.
We'd like to give a huge thank you to the Greater Victoria Sport Tourism Commission, fueled by the support of over 50 local business members and municipalities. It's dedicated to enhancing the region's sporting event landscape. Their mission is to seamlessly blend sport hosting with tourism marketing, drawing major sporting events to Victoria that benefit the entire community.
Ice Rocker jamming for Faultline is your lead jammer official mascot, with the star for Mindfox. Also through quickly, chases Ice Rocker down and forces the quick call off. Yeah.
And I've just had a little fun update from our producer Gretel that that's 2 no-scoring jams in a row.
Everyone's favorite. Followed by a team timeout with 11 minutes, 36 seconds to go in the first period. 43-24 is our score. Slaying Mantis and Slick Mick. Squared off his jammer, Slick Mick, through the middle. Lead jammer Faultline. And a quick star pass, our first star pass of the game. This one sponsored by Driftwood Brewery. Carmen Dragon, now your jammer of record for Mindfox. However, not able to grab any points, as Slick Mick picks up all 4 and calls off the jam.
Parkway Physio, reduce pain, improve mobility, and get back to what you love.
Armadillo out to jam for Mindfox. Maddie Massacre jamming for Faultline. Both teams at full strength in the pack. It's Armadillo left to right and just bumped out, but nobody running back because there's no room to do it. Maddie Massacre held at the back. Armadillo getting some assistance from number 87, Kitty Creamher, and able to sneak out. Grabs the lead jammer, Maddie Massacre, hot on her quads, giving chase. Let's be honest, able to catch Armadillo. But Mindfox do pick up 2 points.
In a world filled with mass-produced stuff, connect with what you consume with Driftwood Brewery. Visit their bar and patio nearby on Viewfield Road in Esquimalt, or on-site here tonight in our beverage garden.
Reign of Terror jamming against Slick Mick. As Reign of Terror at the front, contending with all 4 blockers for Faultline. Slick Mick pushing, spinning. Keeping the feet in bounds as Reign of Terror was bumped into the infield and rolled back. A forearm penalty called, and that will break Slick Mick free. Lead jammer Faultline as Sunny Death Position heads to the penalty box for Mindfox. Oh, Slick Mick bumps to the outside, only 3 points, but able to avoid the run back as RAP rolls out of bounds. This time Slick Mick led through the pack. However, a penalty called. Reign of Terror finally completes the initial. Slick Mick on the 3rd scoring pass calls off the jam after being bumped out of bounds.
Empire Donuts, a whole lot of love. All donuts are made by hand from scratch with quality ingredients. Find them on site today with their delicious donuts.
Official mascot jamming against Ice Rocker. Oh, an official mascot called for the forearm penalty. So this will be a power jam for official mascots and Mindfox. Mindfox also with a 1 skater advantage in the pack. And that lets official mascot clear to pick up lead jammer. Pinball back out of the penalty box and tossing the hip out. Official mascot clears the pack, taps the hips. 2 points up, and an official review being called by Faultline.
White requested a cut call be assessed to the jammer. White requested a cut call to the red jammer. Upon review, no cut was observed. The no call stands.
Power start for Mindfox, slaying Mantis as Ice rock her in the penalty box. A very short power start of approximately 1 second, but still long enough. And Ice Rocker out of the box and clear as lead jammer slaying Mantis in hot pursuit. As my Faultline works to close down at the back and are successful in grabbing that 1 point.
Thank you to Roller Girl for sponsoring the Capital City Chaos Tournament MVP prize. If you're with us in person this weekend, you can vote for the tournament MVP using the QR codes posted throughout the arena.
Armadillo out to jam for Mindfox. Maddie Massacre jamming for Faultline. Mindfox leading 50-39 with 5:48 to go in the first period. Maddie Massacre pushing the entire pack forward, getting a bit of an assist from Shabam. And Maddie Massacre almost free, but captured briefly, but is lead jammer despite all of the shenanigans. As Carmen Dragon heads to the penalty box, as there was much destruction of many packs. Maddie Massacre slaloming through a couple and then caught up at the front as Armadillo recycled back. And finally, Maddie is clear with the 4 points, calls off the jam as Armadillo had exited. And we will start off with Slick Mick out to jam for Faultline. Number 0 official mascot with the star for Mindfox. Mindfox, a 2-skater to 3-skater disadvantage in the pack. Official mascot pushing straight ahead, finding room on the outside and able to grab lead jammer. Slick Mick blows up Resident Weevil on the way through, and Resident Weevil gets to report to the penalty box as Carmen Dragon released. Official mascot dropped to the track as Slick Mick dances through, spinning for 4 points. Official mascot held up mid-pack, taps the hips to call off the jam, and able to collect 3.
Drop into Influence Board Shop for Victoria's best selection of skateboards and gear. You can visit them on site today in our vendor village.
Four-on-3 advantage for Faultline. Let's be honest. Using the shirt whip to work around the inside edge. Grabs lead jammer for Faultline. Slaying Mantis working the inside lane as well and is clear. But let's be honest, through with points. Watching things move and calls off the jam. And that will take us to a 2-point game. Mindfox 53, Faultline 51.
Proudly Canadian, Cloverdale Paint delivers high-performance paints, coatings, and color systems.
Two and a half minutes to go in the period. Armadillo jamming against Maddie Massacre. Everyone back on the jammer line to start. Maddie pushing at the front. Some help from Pinball. Armadillo, though, wide open lane on the outside. Lead jammer, Mindfox. Carmen Dragon forces Maddie Massacre outside, or to the infield rather, and rolls back. Second impact, Maddie stays in bounds as Armadillo bouncing left to right, doing a high block called. That'll send Sasha DeGrader to the penalty box. And a Hotel Z star pass from Faultline Pinball, now your jammer of record. Pinball airborne, but did not land in time to collect the points. Wanted the points, doesn't get the points.
The Zone at 91.3, proud sponsors of the Eves of Destruction. The Zone is a radio station made for you by real people here in Victoria.
Reign of Terror jamming against Slick Mick. As we got a minute of period clock left in the half. Reign of Terror dancing the outside, able to sneak just around Slamala Anderson to pick up lead jammer, but Slick Mick right behind. And everybody speeding up. Ooh, Slick Mick with the 1 point steal. Make that two with the pivot in the box. So 61-53.
Parkway Physio, reduce pain, improve mobility, and get back to what you love.
And that is halftime. Your halftime score, Mindfox 61, Faultline 53. You have 10 minutes to get a whole bunch of donuts and other cool stuff at the Vendor Village. All right, who's ready for half number two? All right, like 2 people, that's good. At least the 10 that are on the track are ready. Reign of Terror jamming against Let's Be Honest. Reign of Terror pushing towards the front. Pack splitting apart, now bridging as Brass Schnuckles steps into the bridge position. Reign of Terror dumps to the infield. Now, let's be honest, with 1 to beat, 2 to beat at the front, and is clear as your lead jammer. Reign of Terror clears the pack. Star in hand, pops it back on as Let's Be Honest taps the hips, calls off the jam. And a 4-0 run to start off the second half.
And once again, the Eves of Destruction wish to thank all of our outstanding sponsors that fund the gameplay you enjoy. As we tell you more about them today and tonight, consider if you too would like to help keep us rolling in 2026. Contact us at sponsorship@evesofdestruction.com.
Make that a 3-0. I got the angle on the hand wrong. 6-61 Mindfox with the lead. Official mascot jamming against Slick Mick. Fish forced out and had to roll well back, but now back engaged with the pack as Slick Mick pushing at the front and also forced out. But official mascot is your official lead jammer for jam number 2 of half number 2 of Mindfox versus Faultline. Slick Mick finally completes the initial pass as official mascot forced to the infield by Sasha DeGrader. And official mascot taps the hips, calls off the jam with 2 points.
In a world filled with mass-produced stuff, connect with what you consume with Driftwood Brewing. Visit their bar and patio nearby here in Esquimalt on Viewfield Road or on site here tonight in our beverage garden.
Slaying Mantis jamming for Mindfox, Maddie Massacre. Jamming for Faultline, Derby Devils. Multiplayer block called. Oh, number 317, Lucky Harms for Faultline. And Hydra picking up a forearm penalty brings us down to 2 blockers for Faultline. Slaying Mantis breaks free as lead jammer Maddie Massacre given chase. Faultline swinging to the front. Mindfox with the wash forward. And a 4-3 steal by Faultline.
Our amazing crew of dedicated officials is one of the Eves of Destruction's biggest assets. From non-skating officials to on-skates officials, they make it possible for us to enjoy the sport we love so much. Speak to any official or league member to find out how you too could be part of this awesome crew.
Armadillo and Let's Be Honest with the Jammer Stars for jam number 4 of the second half of this game. Armadillo forced out of bounds to the outside, but now finding room on the inside edge. Grabs lead jammer 3 in a row now for Mindfox. Let's Be Honest forced out and rolled back by Carmen Dragon. Armadillo sneaking through for 4. As Let's Be Honest completes the initial pass. And the Mindfox defense able to split Faultline up. 4 quick points and an 8-0 jam.
And a big EOD thank you to our tireless photographers. This afternoon, we have Adam Naj Shoots with us.
Official timeout called. Timeout ends as Pinball has reported to the penalty box. That'll put a one skater advantage in the pack for Mindfox, Reign of Terror, and Slick Mick, your jammers. Reign of Terror pushing up front. Slick Mick trapped by the tripod at the back. And Reign of Terror clear as your lead jammer. As Ice Rocker picks up the multiplayer penalty. Slick Mick hops over number 36, Slamela Anderson, to grab 4 points. I'm sorry, that was Reign of Terror with the jump. Slick Mick is now finally clearing the pack. Reign of Terror adds 4 more. And taps the hips just before Slick Mick is able to return to the pack. Second straight 8-0 jam takes us to 82. Mindfox, Faultline 60 with 24:20 to go in the game.
Empire Donuts, a whole lot of love. All donuts are made by hand from scratch with quality ingredients. Check them out today here in our vendor village. They are cash only.
And what was your review of the donut you just enjoyed?
The cherry stick was amazing.
All right. I'll add that to the list after I find a cash machine in between games. Maddie Massacre, lead jammer. Or I'm sorry, official mascot lead jammer. Helps if I look at the one that's blinking. Pro tip. Maddie Massacre held up at the side. Official mascot squeezing through a tiny space on the inside edge to grab 4 points. Official mascot pass, or Ice Rocker, now your jammer of record for Faultline. Jam is called to a close. A 4-0 affair, now 86-60.
Hazel's Ice Cream, a family dream of ice cream. Local handmade ice cream bars.
Slaying Mantis jamming against Let's Be Honest. And Slaying Mantis is your lead jammer. Let's Be Honest pushing towards the front. Slaying Mantis back to the pack. As number 89, Pippi Longstompings, clearing things up to let Slaying Mantis to the front, and Mantis is through. Picks up the 4 as Let's Be Honest emerges the pack, completing the initial pass. A 1-0 run on the final scoring pass, 91-60 now our score.
Thank you to Roll Girl for sponsoring the Capital City Chaos Tournament MVP prize. You can vote for the tournament MVP here in the arena if you're with us today, using the QR codes throughout the space.
Armadillo set to jam against Slick Mick. 4-on-4 in the pack, 5-on-5 on the track. And Armadillo quickly up the inside to grab lead jammer. As Slick Mick looking, pulling a little neo, but the bean dip from Armadillo on the inside edge. 4 points for Mindfox. Penalties thinning out the pack. Slick Mick off to the penalty box. So power jam for Armadillo. And 4 points up. Third scoring pass complete, 12 total on the jam. Armadillo again slides through for 4 more, and that is our highest scoring jam of the game so far. But I think Armadillo's looking for more. As the penalty box empties out, Armadillo airborne, completing the 5th pass. Slick Mick now back to the pack and reclaims the helmet cover. Armadillo's 6th pass complete. And Slick Mick tapped out of bounds. Has to roll back towards the pack. Armadillo now sitting on 28 on the jam. As Armadillo, left, right, now captured at the front as Slick Mick finally finds room to exit the pack, completing the initial pass. Armadillo calls off the jam with a, doing the math, 8th scoring run, 32 points for Mindfox. That jumps their lead now 123, Faultline 60, and we are just under 20 minutes to go in the game. That's great.
We wish to give a huge EOD thank you to the Greater Victoria Sports Tourism Commission, fueled by the support of over 50 local business members and municipalities. It's dedicated to enhancing the region's sporting event landscape. Their mission is to seamlessly blend sport hosting and tourism marketing, drawing major sporting events to Greater Victoria that benefit the entire community.
We've now shifted from the official timeout to the team timeout. Faultline taking an extra minute.
And I will also use this time to give another huge shout out to our tournament sponsors, Airbnb and Roll Focus. Roll Focus here today helping us record the Capital City Chaos 2026 tournament, so we can all enjoy the big hits and point scoring and all the derby fun later on.
Reign of Terror set to jam against Maddie Massacre in jam number 9 of half number 2 of game number 7 of Capital City Chaos. Maddie forced to the infield once and then again, but no serious run rollback. Reign of Terror looking through. Oh, high block called on Maddie Massacre. So power jam for Reign of Terror. And Reign of Terror almost through, but takes a hip check and forced to the infield. And Reina once again forced out, this time by Slamla Anderson. He passes off to Pinball on the rollback. Reign of Terror forced to the outside, rolled back by Sasha DeGrader. And now captured as Maddie Massacre out of the penalty box and completes the initial pass. Power jam done Reign of Terror forced to the infield. And finally through, completes the initial, grabs lead jammer, calls off the jam. But an excellent penalty kill by Faultline and a 4-point steal.
Drop into Influence Board Shop for Victoria's best selection of skateboards and gears. And if you're on site here this weekend, you can come visit their table in the vendor village.
Official mascot and Slick Mick, your jammers for Jam 10. And Slick Mick pushing towards the front, finding room on the inside, and is your lead jammer. Second lead jam of the half for Faultline. Breaking up a long string. And a 4-0 run.
And once again, a huge thank you from the whole league to our friends at the St. John's Ambulance for being on site this weekend, helping keep our skaters safe.
Three on three in the pack. The Slaying Mantis and Maddie Massacre will jam for the Mindfox and the Faultlines. Maddie trying to hop the outside edge, but that lane closed down by Terralizer. As Slaying Mantis contending with a tripod at the back of the field with some excellent close down drill by Faultline. Mindfox now with a 1 skater advantage in the pack, but that ends with the return of Let's Be Honest out of the penalty box. Maddie Massacre now trapped at the back by a tripod as Slaying Mantis towards the front. And a cut track called as Sasha DeGrader with a lengthy run back on the inside. So power jam now for Faultline Derby Devils and Maddie Massacre. That's Maddie up at the front holding on. Now 110, let's be honest, coming in to try and break things free. Maddie Massacre around the outside edge with the helmet cover in hand. So we will have no lead jammer for this jam. Although the heavy defense leads to only 20 seconds being left in that jam. As Mindfox sends 2 to the penalty box just as Slaying Mantis is released. Maddie Massacre grabs the 4 points. And time runs out on the jam. Solid defense from Faultline with the no pass.
Visit Vancouver Island's only romance bookstore, Fated Hearts Bookstore, run by our very own league member, Skylord. She's here today in the vendor village.
Armadillo jamming for Mindfox, but Slick Mick is through and lead jammer for Faultline. Faultline with a 3-on-2, 4-on-2 advantage in the pack. Oh, illegal procedure called. And that will send Shabam back to the penalty box. 4 points for Slick Mick on the initial scoring pass. Racing up the outside edge. As a multiplayer block will send Slamla Anderson to the penalty box. Armadillo still working on the initial pass and finally able to sneak past, let's be honest, to clear the pack. Slick Mick taps the hips, calls off the jam. Second pass complete, an 8-0 run.
Come laugh it up with the skaters at Heckler's Bar and Grill for the after party. This will be happening on Sunday after the games end.
Official mascot jamming for Mindfox and lead jammer as well as Ice Rocker, your jammer for Faultline. Faultline starting the jam two blockers shy at a bit of a disadvantage. Official mascot gets past pinball, grabs 4 points. And Ice Rocker completes the initial. Official mascot jukes to the outside, but catches just enough of Sasha DeGrader's hips to end up out of bounds. Calls off the jam with 2.
Parkway Physio, reduce pain, improve mobility, and get back to what you love.
"12 minutes to go with our game. 129-80, Mindfox in the lead. Slaying Mantis jamming for Mindfox. Maddie Massacre with the star. For Faultline and Maddie Massacre, lead jammer. Faultline Derby Devils. And a star pass off. The Empire Donuts star pass to Carmen Dragon. But Maddie takes the points and takes him back to the bench, calling off the jam.
The Zone at 91.3, proud sponsors of the Eves of Destruction. The Zone is a radio station made for you by real people here in Victoria.
Armadillo jamming against Slick Mick. Both teams full strength in the pack. And both jammers suffering because of it. Armadillo going back and forth, left to right. Slick Mick trying to challenging the same gap repeatedly. Now back in bounds. Multiplayer block. Sending Hell Woods rather to the penalty box, but Armadillo broken free as lead jammer. And a quick star pass. The Influence Board Shop star pass this time to number 4140, Sasha DeGrader. Armadillo through for 2. Or make that 4. I don't know why I thought 2. And Armadillo's second scoring pass done for there as well. And Sasha DeGrader now with the star on the helmet. Into the pack, Armadillo. Bean dip under pinball. Beautifully timed. Sasha DeGrader able to pick up 4 points, so a 12-4 Mindfox win in that jam. Now 141-88.
Thank you to Roller Girl for sponsoring the Capital City Chaos Tournament MVP prize. If you're joining us in the arena this weekend, you can vote for the tournament MVP using the QR codes posted around the space.
Reign of Terror jamming for Mindfox. Ice Rocker jamming for Faultline. Both jammers forced out to the outside. Farther run back for Ice Rocker as Carmen Dragon likes to skate backwards. Ice Rocker one's a beat on the inside. Not lead jammer because of the no impact, no penalty. So lead will go to Reign of Terror. And Reign of Terror will call off the jam before Ice Rocker can get any points.
Empire Donuts, a whole lot of love. All donuts are made by hand from scratch with quality ingredients. Be sure to snag one today while we have them in the arena.
Official mascot and Maddie Massacre jamming in jam number 17 with 8 minutes to go in our game. And official mascot out first, lead jammer. That's 3 straight for Mindfox. Maddie Massacre forced to the outside. Now back engaged and looking, but official mascot inside lane open. Grabs the points. Incidental collision. Official mascot calls off the jam and no points either side. No points that pass. A 4-0 jam for Mindfox.
Proudly Canadian, Cloverdale Paint delivers high-performance paints, coatings, and color systems. Check out their newly opened store in Souk.
Official review called by Faultline.
White requested a low block be assessed to the red jammer. Upon review, the no call stands.
All right, with that no call standing. Also standing, Slaying Mantis and Slick Mick. And we will bump forward with Jam 18, 145 to 88, 7 minutes to go in the game. Slaying Mantis pushing forward. Ice Rocker holding on. And Slick Mick able to sneak around the outside as Sunny Death Position heads to the penalty box. We got a Cloverdale Paint Star Pass for Mindfox. Carmen Dragon, now your jammer of record, and once again denied the ability to get any points.
Drop into Influence Board Shop for Victoria's best selection of skateboards and gears. You can also visit them on site today.
Armadillo jamming against Maddie Massacre. Maddie forced out of bounds to the outside. Armadillo held up behind the Faultline pack. Ooh, and a cut track called on Maddie Massacre. And that will give a power jam to Armadillo. Allowed Mindfox to turn to the offensive mode as Armadillo forced out of bounds again. Now back in, one to beat as Faultline waterfalling forward, and Armadillo rolling. Is lead jammer just tipped by Sasha DeGrader. But Sasha goes down, and Armadillo free to continue moving as Maddie Massacre out of the box and through the pack quickly. Armadillo dips under one shoulder check. Calls off the jam, 3 points up.
Hazel's Ice Cream, a family dream of ice cream. Local handmade ice cream bars made right here in Victoria.
.420 to go in the game, 148-92. Mindfox in the lead, Reign of Terror with the star. For Saskatoon, Mindfox, Slick Mick jamming for Faultline Derby Devils. And Slick Mick outside a lane, a lead jammer. Reign of Terror slips through, completes the initial pass. Slick Mick bounces past Carmen Dragon, taps the hips, calls off the jam. Did get all 4.
Laugh it up with the teams on Sunday at Heckler's Bar and Grill. Join us for the Capital City Chaos after party.
Official mascot jamming for Mindfox, Maddie Massacre for Faultline. And Maddie Massacre finds room on the outside, a lead jammer. Official mascot, bump to the infield. Maddie back engaged and captured by number 89, Pippi Longstompings. Calls off the jam after grabbing all 4 points.
In a world filled with mass-produced stuff, connect with what you consume with Driftwood Brewery. Visit their bar and patio nearby in Esquimalt on Viewfield Road or on site here tonight in our beverage garden.
2.5 minutes to go in the game, and timeout called by Mindfox. Reign of Terror back out to jam for Mindfox. Slick Mick with the star for Faultline. In a very tight and slow pack to start with, but Reign of Terror grabs lead jammer. So we tick down to the 2-minute mark. Slick Mick starting to the outside, now to the middle. Continuing to get captured as Mindfox waterfalls to the front. Reign of Terror on a scoring pass picks up 4 points. Slick Mick still working on the initial, able to stay in bounds after a couple of heavy shoulders. Pops the star back on the helmet. But meanwhile, Reign of Terror adds 4 more and calls off the jam. That'll take us to 156-100 as we're ticking down to 1:15 to go.
And once again, a huge thank you to our tournament sponsor, Greater Victoria Sport Tourism Commission. Their mission is to seamlessly blend sport hosting with tourism marketing, drawing major sporting events to the Greater Victoria area.
Official mascot, jamming for Mindfox, Maddie Massacre for Faultline. We are under 1 minute of period time to go. Fish bump to the outside, had to recycle back. Maddie Massacre just shoving on the sled as a multiplayer sends Carmen Dragon to the penalty box. And while attention was on the outside, official mascot sneaks through on the end to grab lead jammer. Maddie Massacre, 1 to beat and bumped out of bounds by Pippi Long Stompings. As official mascot through with 4 points. Maddie Massacre still on the initial, now trapped at the front. Carmen Dragon out of the penalty box comes to escort official mascot into the pack. Official mascot bumped out to the outside. Checks with the bench. Bench is like, nah, just keep going. Meanwhile, Maddie Massacre has passed the star off. A Driftwood Brewery star pass to Slamela Anderson. Official mascot through with 4 more. 8 total on the jam as we continue to tick on jam time alone. Slamela Anderson fighting, forced out of bounds and rolled back by Pippi Long Stompings. As the backward bridge continues, official mascot. 3rd scoring pass done, 12 on the jam, and that will do it. Mindfox are your winners. Unofficial final score 168. Faultline Derby Devils 100. So come on up to the tape for your free sweaty high five momentarily after we let everyone get out of the way. All right, swoopy whistle is blown. That is your final. Mindfox, your winners. Let's hear it for Saskatoon Roller Derby League's Mindfox.
All right, fans, give a high five to the skaters. Skaters, you can join me by the scoreboard for your photos and MVPs. We will clear the track for the next team.
And keep your hands out for Faultline Derby Devilz.
All right, you guys all saw me and high-fived me. Let's now get to your photo and MVP. Gather up, gather up. We're going to clear the track. All right, folks, close together. I see our photographer, Adam, ready to take your photo. All right, on to your MVPs. If you guys can see me, I'm to the left of where you just were. MVP blocker for Faultline, 1-3, Naughty Havoc. One three, Naughty Havoc. I can see you. 1-3, Naughty Havoc. MVP jammer for Faultline, 8-1, Maddie Massacre. MVP blocker for Mindfox, 8-9, Pippi Longstompings. And MVP jammer number 2, Armadillo.